Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the all-time great stories of rebellion. I mean, imagine this. You're a prophet, you get a direct command from God, and what do? You run. You run as far and as fast as you possibly can in the exact opposite direction. So, the story kicks off with a mission that is, well, crystal clear. God speaks to this prophet, Jonah, and gives him a pretty monumental task. I want you to go to the great city of Nineveh and call them out for their wickedness. Simple as that. There's no room for interpretation here, right? It's a direct command. And there it is, a divine command. This is the exact moment that kicks off this whole chaotic story. But Jonah's reaction, it's immediate and it is so defiant. Instead of heading east toward Nineveh, he turns right around and heads west to a place called Tarshish. Now you got to understand, at the time, that was basically the opposite end of the known world. He's not just, ignoring the command, he's trying to physically put as much distance as possible between himself and God. So, this is it, the flight to Tarshish. This is just pure, calculated defiance, and I want you to really notice how deliberate this is. This isn't some moment of panic or hesitation. No, Jonah actively goes down to the port city of Joppa. He finds a ship heading in the right direction, or, the wrong direction, and he even pays the fare to get on board. He is all in on this escape plan. But here's the thing. Can you really escape the creator of the sea by hopping on a boat? Yeah, probably not. The consequence for Jonah's little stunt is swift, and it is powerful. The Lord sends a great wind right out onto the water. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary storm. The text calls it a mighty tempest. We're talking about a squall that feels almost supernatural in its intensity. Things are escalating, and they are escalating fast. It gets so violent that the ship itself, the very thing he was using to escape, is about to be torn to pieces. And just like that, Jonah's personal act of rebellion has put every single person on that boat in mortal danger. And just like that, we've entered the crisis phase. What started as one guy's refusal to do his job has now become a mighty tempest, and it's threatening to kill everybody. And this part is just amazing because it highlights the incredible irony of the whole situation. You've got these seasoned, professional sailors in a total panic. They're praying to every god they can think of. They're chucking cargo overboard, just trying to stay afloat. And where is the one person responsible for all this chaos? He's down below deck, fast asleep. You can't make this stuff up. So, of course, the ship's captain eventually finds him, and you can just feel the frustration, right? He's like, "What are you doing? How can you be asleep?" He begs Jonah, "Get up, pray to your God. Maybe someone's God will actually listen and save us." Well, with their own prayers not working and the storm still raging, the sailors decide to try something else. They decide to cast lots. It's kind of like drawing straws, basically, leaving it up to chance or fate to point out who's responsible for this whole mess. And here's the thing, it works. They cast the lots, and guess who it lands on? Out of the entire crew, it points to one person, Jonah. The jig is up. He's been found out. Okay, so now the truth has to come out. It's time for the fateful confession. You can just picture it. The crew immediately swarms him, just firing off questions. Who are you? What's your job? Where are you from? Why is this happening to us? I mean, they're completely terrified and they need answers like right now. And Jonah's confession? Wow, it's a stunner. He doesn't just tell them who he is. He says he worships the God who created, wait for it, the sea and the dry land. The very sea that is at that exact moment trying to destroy them all. Can you imagine being one of those sailors? That must have been an absolutely bone-chilling thing to hear. So they realize they're in way over their heads, caught in the middle of some kind of cosmic battle they don't understand. So they do the only logical thing. They turn to the guy who started it all and ask for the solution. Okay, what do we have to do to you to make this storm stop? And Jonah, to his credit, just fully accepts it. He calmly tells them his own sentence. He says, look, there's only one way out of this. You have to pick me up and throw me into the sea. He knows this whole thing is on him. And that brings us right to the climax of this part of the story, calm in the deep. A really shocking resolution is about to go down on these raging waters. But here's a really fascinating detail. The men actually resist. Even though they know he's the reason they're all about to die, they don't want to just murder the guy. They try with all their might to row back to land, but it's no use.
They even pray to Jonah's God, begging not to be blamed for his death. It's only when they've tried absolutely everything else that they finally do what he told them to do. And the effect? It is instantaneous. The very second Jonah hits the water, the storm just stops. The raging sea goes completely calm, just like that. It seems the divine anger has been satisfied. But here's the twist. Jonah's sentence isn't death by drowning. In a pretty incredible turn of events, his story is nowhere near over. In fact, it's about to enter a whole new, bizarre chapter, one that revolves around the number 3. Because the story tells us that just as the storm was prepared, the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah. So he's rescued from the sea, only to be trapped inside the belly of a giant sea creature for 3 days and 3 nights. And that leaves us with the ultimate cliffhanger, doesn't it? What on earth happens next?